on top of it and get a view around. And this is what we're going to be building later on in this session. We're going to build the tower. I just want to save that so I can show you guys the tower and how it's built, and just we're also going to be making a bow. As you might notice, I'm still running around with a sword. Now we're gonna go back over here, right, to the pit stop, and we're gonna go down this tunnel. It has a nice little window, and it's a pretty long tunnel. I think I might build a room into here or something, but I haven't decided yet. And this leads to the observatory. This is the highest point of any of my buildings, and it is also the newest addition to my tunnel system. So here we are in the observatory, Z coordinate 36, and it's basically built at pretty much the tallest point around, except for right there. But I didn't want to build it up there because my house is already there, and it overlooks the same area. So from here, we can see all of our bunkers, and we can see the dead woods from above and off into the distance over there, where there are still leaves on the trees. So you can see this is just a very, very forested map. Another thing I want to turn your attention to is this right here. You see how those trees have just random single blocks of wood with no trunk? That's not because I chopped them down or one of the penises exploded. It's because the trees, once they grow big enough, they actually start to get branches, and those blocks on the side represent branches. So they end up looking sort of weird, but it's really cool how it randomly generates the branches as the trees grow and expand. So now we're just gonna go back down. Yeah, this is this is the longest ladder that I have built into my system so far. If you paid attention to the signs, you would notice it goes up 32 Z levels from 34 to 36. So that's quite a lot of blocks to go up and down. So yeah, there we are. We hear some zombies out there, and there's actually another thing that I want to show you back in the main base. Oh, we can see how our crops are doing. You see, there they are. They're doing just fine, growing and all that. And this is the garden. There's a sign for it. And this was actually my first structure that I built at a negative Z level. That's at -2. So yeah, and I've decided to put up paintings at every one of my crossroads to make them more distinctive and noticeable. Also, there's this little ladder right here, illuminated by a torch, which we have not gone down yet. So we're gonna go down here. And this is my fountain. I built a little fountain here, and it just spews water all over the place. And this is a little place called 5 Below, because it's exactly 5 Z levels below Rome. Rome's right there on that tile, facing that direction. And this right here is a tunnel, which I lit using these. Minecraft's equivalent of fluorescent lighting. And here we have a door, and if we go through it, we get to the mine. It has a giant skylight on top, so we will always be able to see what time of day it is, and it'll also give us a lot of lighting while it is day out there. So that's that. And as it gets bigger, we are going to have more ladders here. And that's another thing that I wanted to do in this session, is to take care of that mining business. Also, the station here isn't really completed. As you can see, there's a lot of empty room here that I intend to utilize at some point. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'm definitely going to do something with it. So there's a piggy outside. And if we don't take care of him, he'll be really annoying and loud the whole time we're playing, so there he is. And there's my mining shaft from the top. I built this little perimeter of torches around it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've done in between the two sessions. Yeah, and if any of you remember, we actually planted a tree over here, and it died before I even got this water here. Because when you plant trees, they also need to be within 4 tiles of water to grow. So yeah, that's what that experiment told us. And yeah, that tunnel that we have going from the main base, it actually goes right here. This is the middle of the tunnel, and it just goes straight through the mountain and to the other side of our shelter. So yeah, that's that. So let's build a couple mining picks here. Let's build let's build 5 picks. And yeah, as I said in one of the earlier videos, I normally don't like to skip gameplay, but with Minecraft, you sort of end up having to, because there's just a lot of standing around and clicking on blocks, and that's not really fun. The fun part comes in what ends up being built and what it ends up being used for. Now, the other thing I was talking about earlier is that I wanted to build a bow. And I've actually been holding off on that just to show how it's done. What you need is you need some spider silk for the string, and you need some sticks for the actual bow itself. And if I remember correctly, you lay out your 3 sticks like that in an arc, and you put the spider silk in the back. And there we are. There we are. We now have a bow. Spider string has now officially become useless. Now we're going to use that and that, combined with some more sticks. Yeah, there we go. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to lay out an arrow shape. We're going to have flint for the tip, some feathers for the plumage, and some sticks in the middle. So there we are, arrows. There's 64 of them. Let's make a couple more. There we are. So now there are plenty of arrows to take care of whatever baddies might be attacking us at any given point in time. The nice thing about arrows is that you can take out the exploding penises without actually having to get near them. So there we are. And let's see. Oh yeah, officially they're called creepers. But honestly, I think they look just like giant dicks. And they're really annoying, so... Oh yeah, that's the other cool thing about your own bow, is that if you shoot an arrow, you can pick it up. And also your arrows have a curve. If you see where I'm aiming versus where my arrow hit, it's actually quite a severe effect due to gravity. This isn't really a powerful long bow or anything like that, so to hit that block, I would actually have to aim right there. So yeah, there we are. Bow's curve. That's nothing new to games, but it might be something that those of you who have not yet made a bow don't know. So that's the one thing that you have to watch out for, and it basically makes the bow useless at long distances. Like, for example, to hit the top of that tree trunk, I'd probably have to aim right there. Oh, wow. It actually went off to the side of the tree trunk. And there it is. It didn't even hit the tree trunk, and you saw how much higher than I was aiming. I was like aiming for the clouds there. So like, for example, if I wanted to hit that right there, let's try here then. Yeah, I think that might have actually hit something. Either that or it sailed way over. Nope, there it is. So aiming that high up hits the third box down. Damn it. And I don't have any soil tiles. That's annoying. Because normally I would like to do that using a soil tile, because they're fast to break and nobody cares about them. So there we are. That's bows and bow curves. So what I wanted to do here was, with this place, was to build a perch in which I could sit during the night and shoot at stuff. So that's what's going to happen. And I'm actually going to make it out of wood, because I think for the first time ever, I have too much wood. Yeah. So there we are. Build that, and build it out like so. And this will be the first deck of the archery tower, from which we will shoot anything that we see, really. That was my other purpose in clearing away the leaves. Even though I started doing that before I thought I was going to build a tower, turns out it's quite useful for the tower as well, because I'll actually be able to see things to shoot at. And especially creepers, they're sort of greenish and zombified, so they're really easy to confuse with the surroundings. Yeah. When they're so green and leafy and stuff. Let's get rid of this. And this is actually turning out to be a pretty short archery tower, as many of you can probably see at this point. There's not really much height to it or anything like that. But that's because this is the first level, and that's exactly what you want in your first level. You want to be able to just shoot things with complete accuracy, like that. Oh, ow. And let's see, where's our... Ooh, we've run out of ladders. That's quite inconvenient. That's okay. We can just make a crafting block inside of the tower for now, and place it right there, and we'll build ourselves a couple of things. First, we will build a door so that we can leave the tower at will and loot whatever it was that we took care of during the night. So yeah, as you can see, I can't get out of the tower, which means no one else can get in. So, since we have our ladder right there, we're just going to build a door right here. This is going to be our door. And go outside, plop that down, put a tile. There we are. So, there's that. And the other thing we were wanting to build was ladders. So we're going to build ourselves some ladders. About 4 of them ought to do. So there are the ladders. And could now just plop one down. And voila, we are on top of the tower. Now the other cool thing that that can be done with sticks, I think it was, is that alright. Is that you can build a fence out of them, I think. If I remember correctly, you build one of these. Yeah, and that builds 2 lengths of fencing. So, fencing's sort of interesting in that if you put a post down like that, you can't really jump over it, and you can't see towards the ground. And if you back away, you can't shoot through the holes, but you can shoot over it, which makes it a little bit useful, but not quite as useful as most people would want. I just put it in the corners to stop myself from potentially falling out. And as you've probably noticed, that arrow that I shot into here is gone. That's because arrows